Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today, we're going to talk about earthquakes? On the East Coast, really? Ships normally weather earthquakes just fine. Depending on the size of the earthquake and the location to the epicenter, they may feel it, but they wouldn't be damaged directly by the earthquake. Possibly the tsunami that comes after the earthquake, but not the earthquake itself. However, you can throw that all out the window when you put your battleship in dry dock. Being from the US East Coast, I've never experienced too much in the way of earthquakes. In 2011, there was one in Northern Virginia that struck the DC metropolitan area and could be felt in Baltimore. However, when it happened, I was on board the submarine Torsk in Baltimore's Inner Harbor. And I saw guests running out of the aquarium asking if I'd felt that, and I didn't. Being on a ship floating, I didn't feel a thing at all. However, on April 6th, 2024, Battleship New Jersey weathered what could have been her first earthquake on the blocks. This was a 4.8 magnitude earthquake that struck up further north in New Jersey, but allegedly could be felt as far as Northern Virginia to the Boston area. I can't say with 100% certainty that it was New Jersey's first earthquake. She would have been dry docked several times in California in the 80s, and California is far more earthquake prone than the East Coast. However, there is a chance that this was her first earthquake, and I'm so thankful that she weathered it okay. At the time, Libby, who's filming the video, and myself were sitting in the building. The building started to shake like jello. Thankfully, Libby lived in California for a number of years, and she was able to identify it as an earthquake right away. My first thought was, oh my God, it's Aagi all over again. So we came running out to see if the battleship had been knocked off her blocks by the earthquake. When we got to the wing wall here and looked down, the workers below us were still doing their work as if they hadn't felt anything. And then all of a sudden, somebody's phone rang and they picked it up and looked at it and then grabbed their buddy and showed it to him. Obviously, somebody was calling or texting to ask if they were safe, and that was the first they had heard that they'd even survived an earthquake. The foundations for the dry dock are so strong, being able to hold the weight of the battleship, that the earthquake wasn't able to vibrate it, unlike the foundations of the buildings around here. So if dry dock foundations are so strong, why was I concerned? In 1923, on September 1st, the Great Kanto earthquake, which was approximately an 8 on the Richter scale, destroyed the incomplete battlecruiser Aagi. Aagi was part of Japan's 8-8 fleet that they were building after World War I during the arms race between the United States, Great Britain, and Japan. She was roughly comparable to the Lexington-class battlecruisers and the British G3-class battlecruisers. This dry dock that New Jersey is in dates back to 1921 and was built for the Lexington-class battlecruisers. Aagi was approximately the same size as an Iowa-class battleship. Fully loaded, she would have displaced 47,000 tons, and she was armed with 10 16.1-inch guns. She had a speed of 30 knots and was just over 800 feet long and about 100 feet wide. So very, very similar in size to an Iowa-class battleship. In 1922, the Washington Naval Treaty stopped construction of the Lexington-class battlecruisers, the Aagi-class battlecruisers, and the British G3s, which hadn't even left the design board yet, among a bunch of other ships. However, it allowed Lexington, Saratoga, Aagi, and Aagi to be converted into aircraft carriers. So Aagi was in the process of being converted when the earthquake struck. It was so damaging that it knocked the ship off her blocks and caused enough structural damage that the Japanese decided to scrap her instead and turn the Tosa-class battleship Kaga into a slightly shorter, slightly slower aircraft carrier instead of her. The earthquake also killed between 100 and 140,000 Japanese people, between the tens of thousands of buildings that collapsed, and because it struck just before noon, lots of people were cooking lunch at the time, and so fires spread out and a firestorm raged as a result of the earthquake. So, hopefully you understand now why we were scared by this really unprecedented event. In fact, our contract says that the yard is not liable for damages incurred by acts of God. An earthquake on the East Coast is certainly unforeseeable, but consider this proof of life for Battleship New Jersey, still sitting on the blocks, high, proud, and undamaged. Can you think of any other battleships that were destroyed by natural events? Let us know in the comments section down below. Next time New Jersey weathers one, we'll do a video about it. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals like yourselves. We really appreciate the support, and there's a link in the description below if you'd like to donate to support the ongoing restoration work. You can also support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching.